Today, my name is Pearl Polto. We're doing documentaries. Today is part two of the documentaries of the homeless. But we're giving it a twist today. And you can see from part one how everybody gave me money on the street, the way I was dressed. Now we're going to see a different race. We're going to see black people to see if the homeless, if a black person is on the street, will they be targeted positive or negative? Hasi is going to be the victim of the homeless. How do you feel?
Oh, I feel great. I just want to get out there and see what happens.
Are you prepared for any which way that happens?
Yes, I am.
Are you prepared with the people and the homeless, what the homeless think of black people? What do you think?
Well, homeless is homeless. It doesn't really matter. I mean, if someone doesn't have a home, they just don't have a home.
Okay. Let's put race aside. Let's see if the people on the street puts homeless aside from race. And let's see where it takes us from the two documentaries that we did. Now, we're going to show you what he's like dressed as a homeless. You thought I was bad. Wait till you see him. Thank you. This is part two, and this is what Hasi looks like after he's going to go out on the street. Does he look pathetic or what? He is homeless. He's going to be homeless. But the people out there, this documentary is for you. Would you give him money? This is what he's going to look like on the street. We shall see. We're on our way. Thank you.
Yep.
approached the cars with him and said, why aren't you giving to this person? One said they had no money. The other person said, I don't like it. He's too big and he's too old. He's not homeless. He's a fake. So interesting. She said, I have money. I wouldn't give it to a black man. So that goes to prove my point. There's prejudice among the homeless, the people. Thank you. We're doing a follow-up right now on what just happened, doing a documentary on the black man and the homeless. I'm surprised, I'm appalled, and I'm not surprised. When I was out there being the part of the homeless with my little dog, everybody was throwing me money, even telling me to come back. If you watch this video, you will see. Today, we wanted to see something. Who's profiled? And is the homeless really homeless? Does people really care about homeless? Well, we see today. I am shocked. I'm shocked, and here's why. We did have $1 of a black man, and he was in a van, but the rest wouldn't even give him eye contact, wouldn't give anything to him, and then you're going to see me in this video, walking across the street, knocking on the window, and saying to the person, why aren't you giving to this homeless guy? One said, no, he's too old. 2, no, he's probably on drugs. 3, I'm not giving to black people because he's on drugs. I'm appalled by this. What did you, when I told you to knock on a window, how did you feel in that aisle?
The reason why I didn't go to the aisle because A, they were not giving me any eye contact. Second, there was a guy that was right by me that gave me the finger. That tells me stay away. Everybody
gave you the finger in the car?
In the car, right in the car, he gave me the finger.
Is that when I said knock on the window?
When you told me knock on the window, I moved left and I turned, and the next thing I know, his finger was in the car, but you couldn't see it because it was in the middle. I was standing up and I could see it, and I could hear a lot of people, shaking their heads. I see a lot of them, looking straight and shaking their heads. And the other gentleman called me and gave me the $1, told me, sorry, never mind. The other gentleman told me he was sorry, they didn't have any money. But that goes to show you the reason why not many black people actually stand in the street with signs in their hands. They rather sit under the bleachers or sit somewhere else and get help.
Do you ever see a black man homeless? Is there black men that are homeless?
There are.
And women?
There are a lot of them that are homeless, but they sit on the bridges. They lie there. And
they sit under the bridges because they won't be on the streets like the documentary I did with May, because they know they're not going to get anything.
Of course, that you just saw that today. We proved. Look at the before and the after. The other ladies told you that I was too old and too big, and she wouldn't even dare give a black man any money.
How did you feel? How did you feel? The question goes back. We're saying we're ahead for years with the prejudice in this country. Do you think we're ahead of the prejudice in the country, or we're just hiding the fact until something is exposed?
I look at it at 50-50. Some people are actually homeless and others are not. And I don't feel bad for those who didn't give the money because A, they could spot me as not being the real homeless guy and maybe play a part. But to the point that, some of them will not even give me an eye contact. That goes to tell you that, the prejudice and the disparity that goes on here is too much and it's too wide. And, call it what you know it, or call it the way you see it. I think...
you could never be homeless. At least begging.
No. Even if right now I cannot survive based on what we just saw. If I were actually a homeless guy standing in the street, that goes to tell you that I'm going to die because nobody actually cared, looked at me, or even made an eye contact with me.
But there was black people as well in the cars that didn't want to give you eye contact.
Not at all. In fact, the other guy was astonished. He was just looking at me like that. But the $1 that you see on the table was given to me by one black guy in a van and told me good luck.
So that's one black person that felt sorry for you. And the other black people, even the ones that I went up to, were black. And I made sure they were black just to see, why aren't they giving to you? And their answers appalled me to the point where, for the people out there, even though you say we don't have prejudice in this country, I think I have a book, my new book is out, it's called Are We Doomed? Enough is Enough. And there's a chapter in there. And the chapter is called, believe it or not, Black of White. And I want you, if everybody buys a book or goes to Kindle, get a copy of this book. And here's why. This book that I wrote, this is a life, the reason why we're doing this documentary and the reason why I wrote that chapter, I was in partnership with a black woman. And what we did was, and this was years ago when I wrote this book, Are We Doomed? Enough is Enough. We went into a store just to see the profiling in this country, even though you hear on the news and you say, no, we don't have prejudice, we're not prejudiced. We went into a store. I was looking at things as if I was going to take them, and she was a businesswoman all dressed up. And guess what? They followed her, not me.
Yep.
And then that's when she sat down and educated me about the black race. And when she educated me about the black race, read the chapter. You will be surprised how the black people feel about their background, their childhood, their education, and where they're really coming from. It's through us, the people. They have our names. People, if you're going to do anything, the reason why we did this documentary is not to get scammed by the homeless, because there's many homeless out there that are not homeless. So yes, we want your eyes to open up, and we don't want you to give money to everybody, because as you see, this was undercover. But we want you to feel from your heart, give them food, take them to the diner around the corner to say, go across the street, I'm going to buy you coffee. If they don't want it, they're not homeless, they don't care. So put yourself to the test, because this is what this documentary, and we're going to take this worldwide, because if you're white, if you're black, if you're Asian, if you're Spanish, you know what? You do have a little hint of prejudice in you. And if you don't think you do what we did, and let's see if you give to that person on the street. Thank you. If we sound harsh, I am harsh, because I'm surprised at the prejudice that's going on in this country. It has to end. Thank you.